Now we'll be starting your customs valuation determination of value of imported goods rules 2007. This rule is to be read with your section number 17, that is your transaction value, and these rules together will help you find out the value of imported goods. Once you compute the value, then on this value the rate is applicable, and that's how you come to know the total the amount of custom duty payable in rupee terms. Now there are a total of 12 rules given here. It's super simple, and we will try to classify them. Firstly, I'll classify them these customs valuation of imported goods rules 2007. Okay, so this is your customs valuation determination of value of imported goods rules 2007. Now this can be divided in two categories. One is a general rules and specific rules. General rule and your specific rules. Now general rule is your rule number 1 and your rule number 2. Rule number 2 gives you certain definitions of certain terms, and rule number 1 talks about the application and the name of this rules. Okay, the title. So the title will be, it is your customs determination of valuations rules 2007. It is applied whenever you are going to compute the value of imported goods. There are a few definitions we will be doing when we do the rules. Okay, so these two. Then comes your rule number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. That's it. Only 12 rules. Firstly, the first rule, okay, the specific rule starts from rule number 3. What does rule number 3 says? That whenever the value will always be the transaction value, as we had read in our section number 14. So rule number 3 says that go as per the transaction value. So what is a transaction value? A transaction value is a price paid by the person, by the importer to the exporter, when they both are unrelated and price is the sole consideration. Now tell me one thing, this transaction value कैसे पता चलेगा officer को? Who will tell this transaction value? So then we will go to our next rule, that is rule number, these rules will to be read together. Rule 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now we are seeing rule 3 is being read with rule number 11, 10, 11, 12. So सबसे पहले ये transaction value कैसे पता चलेगा? What is the transaction value? So it will be the importer himself will declare. So there will be a declaration of value of the transaction value by importer. Yeah, the clear. So how will the proper officer come to know? He'll come to know by the declaration given by the importer himself. He will give some documentary proof to support his claim. Now if the government feels, or the custom officer feels that he is lying, he is undervaluing or overvaluing the goods. Sometimes we can feel that the person will undervalue the goods. Say nahi 1 lakh rupe ka nahi hai goods, it's only of 30,000. So that he has to pay rate on 30,000 only. So if we feel that he is undervaluing the goods, the officer has a right to reject the value. So rejection of transaction value of the price declared by the value declared by the importer in your rule number 11. See this. Rejection of the declared value by the customs officer. The customs officer can declare it, reject the declaration given by the importer. Now tell me one thing, the importer will try to undervalue the goods or overvalue the goods? Most of the cases they try to undervalue the case. Okay, undervalue, where they will say 1 lakh ka nahi hai, 30,000 ka hai, so that he has to pay duty only on 30,000. But in some cases they overvalue the goods also. They overvalue the goods. That comes in case of money laundering. Money laundering means black money is involved, crime proceeds. What happens? These are like hawala transactions where I try to transfer illegal money abroad. For example, I make a painting. Okay, so this is a painting that I have made. Let me make something so it makes a more realistic example. So this is a painting that I have made. You tell me one thing, this painting will be worth how much? How much will you be ready to buy this painting for? 5,000, 10,000, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs or 10 rupees. Now obviously you might say ki, you are ready to pay 500 bucks for this painting. Yes or no? So the value of this ideally is 500 rupees. मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, नहीं ये 500 का नहीं है, it is worth 5 lakhs and I'm importing the goods. I'm importing goods worth rupees 5 lakhs. I'll happily pay custom duty on this 5 lakhs also. 10%. I'll happily pay 5 lakh 50,000. Okay, and I will send. Now what is happening? The painting will come into India and the money will flow outside India. The money will flow outside India. It is possible because see, if I have crime proceeds in India, I want to somewhere route it abroad. I want to transfer it abroad. So I don't care of this custom duty and all of that. I'll happily pay my taxes. I need to transfer this money abroad. Okay, so I can call in my people and they will overvalue the goods and there will be people buying paintings of this guy and transferring money continuously 5 lakh rupees abroad. And then when I go abroad, I can use this money for business, etc. And I can route this back into India by way of investment in a company, in my company. So all of this is a little complex transactions that can be done. So don't always feel that there is going to be undervaluation. There is going to be overvaluation also where the importers try to pay certain more money abroad. So more money gets transferred. Maybe I come to know that the exporter is my agent only. He got 5 lakh rupees. Now this money we can use it abroad. So these are techniques of transferring money abroad. Now not to get into so much detail, but just remember that sometimes if they don't feel that the goods are valued correctly, they can reject the valuation. Yahan tak clear? Yes. So we are doing your rule number 3 is read with 3 rules. Okay, your rule 10, 11 and 12. 10 kya hai? 10 is actually the most important, which will be used in your sums also. एक बार value मिल गया उनको, okay, whatever value they have taken, there will be subject to certain adjustments. So there will be certain adjustments and taxes, certain things will be added, deleted, etc. Adjustments to value. And you have your 10 sub rule 1 and 10 sub rule 2. So this you have to remember. This adjustment we need to do when we are doing the sums. So we will see later on, but right now you have to understand that once your value is accepted, that time some adjustments will be done, some addition, deletions will be done as per the customs law, and then the value is computed and on that value the duty will be levied. I hope till here it is clear. So we have all these cases that once if it is accepted, then we'll start doing the adjustments. You have to give us a declaration. If the declaration is accepted, we will do some adjustments on it. If it is not accepted, then there will be a rejection. It will be rejected. Now question comes up, अगर reject हो गया तो क्या करेंगे? He's not saying no, I don't think only that anything of yours is correct. I'm rejecting it. Moment it is rejected, then you will have to go to rule number 4. अगर 12 हो गया, reject हो गया, then you can't trust the transaction value, and now you will go into the rules in this order only. 4, अगर 4 नहीं हुआ तो then 5, then 5 नहीं हुआ तो 6, and so on. Let's see what is it. If transaction value could not be trusted and got rejected under rule number 12. Now what would you do? If I don't know, I can't trust this transaction. You bought a laptop for a certain 2 rupees, you bought the laptop. I'm not going to trust it. What will I do? How will I assess the value? What is the worth of the laptop? I'll find it from certain identical goods. What is the price of identical goods? If your laptop is there, Apple MacBook Pro is there, then what is a MacBook Pro in the market? I'll just find an identical goods. So the next rule, after the transaction value cannot be trusted, then I will go to identical goods. So maybe I'll try to find what is the exact goods in the market, uska price kya hai. If identical goods are not available, okay, for some reason, then I will go to similar goods. So what is the first thing I have to do if I can't trust the transaction value? I will go into identical goods. Identical goods ढूंढने का. अगर identical goods भी नहीं, मार्केट में है ही नहीं ऐसे identical goods, काफी यूनिक प्रोडक्ट है. So in that case I'll say कोई तो similar तो होगा. Similar goods. What is identical goods and similar goods is given in your definition. Identical goods are goods which are like in quantity, quality, purity, standard, manufacturing, and is considered as mirror images of each other or perfect substitutes. Identical goods. Okay, so MacBook Pro and MacBook Pro is a identical goods. Similar goods क्या होता है? When identical goods are not available, then we will have to go to the similar goods. Similar goods are not exact. They are not mirror images. They are not perfect substitutes, but they are like or have similar qualities, have similar quantity, similar purity, similar standard as compared to the goods. So then we will say agar identical nahi hai, to then we will go as per the similar goods. Then come to rule number 6. Rule number 6 is really not a rule. It is not a rule. It simply says that after this rule, 7th nahi apply karna, you want to apply 8th. So this is called as a change in order. Change in order rule. So this itself is not a valuation rule. It is simply saying that after the 5th one, you don't want to apply the 7th and you directly want to apply the 8th, then you can do that. So change in order between 7 and 8 rule. What is the meaning of that? Normally after the 6th rule, which rule would you have applied? After the 6th rule, which rule you would have applied? You will say the 7th rule. You would apply the 7th rule, right? But if the importer says don't apply the 7th, instead apply the 8th. So that is called as change in order. If the 5th rule ke baad mein, I know that the next rule in line is 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 I don't want. I want first 8 to be applied. So that is called as change in order between 7 and 8. So यहाँ पे देखोगे what they have given, change in order between 7 and 8. So 7 is deducted value and the computed value. Normally after the 6th rule, normally the deducted value rule would apply. But if the importer exercises rights and given writing and says that rule number 6 gives me a right to apply the 8th rule over the 7th rule, so then we will say अच्छा ठीक है चलो 8th rule आपके लिए पहले apply कर देंगे. So rule number 7 is the deductive rule. Deductive rule, where you have to do a few deductions before you come here. We'll see what is the deductive rule. The 8th is called as your computed rule. We have to compute the value on basis of cost of production, etc. We'll see what it is. Computed value is very simple. I can tell you now only. If I don't know the value of the goods, okay, I want to find the value of the goods. और identical goods भी नहीं है, similar goods भी नहीं है, तो क्या करना? So we will simply take 110% of cost of the goods to be the value. 110% of cost of goods is the value. For example, the cost price of the goods is 1 lakh. We find out that the cost of the price of goods is 1 lakh. Then what will be the value of the goods? So it is assumed that it is 110%. That is 1,10,000. 10,000 is considered that 10% is notional profit. So ideally whenever any person is selling the goods, we are trying to find the selling price, right? We are finding the sale value all this while, okay? Sale value. So sale value is always a cost plus profit. In childhood we had done is equal to sale value. So we are trying to find this value. So what we will say, what is the cost price? Tell us the cost price. So they will compute computed values. They will compute your cost of the product. So the dealer will himself have to say that, you know, this is my cost of production, this is my cost of services, this is my cost of raw materials, cost of all of this. So we'll have to appoint a cost and works accountant to compute the cost. तो अगर cost पता चला 100 है, okay, by our computation, that's why it's called the computed value, we will assume that a notional profit of 10% is applied on it, 10%, and the sale value will be 110. If this would be 1000, then it would be 10% on this, that would be 100, and we'll come to know accordingly. Yeah, the clear? So simple line is, what do we do? What is the value? Value is equal to 110% of cost. कौन सा रूल है ये? Rule number 8. So just remember 8. So 8 is there, 110% of cost. For some reason, okay, for some reason, even this rule से नहीं मिला value. We could not apply this rule also. So first was the transaction value. Red with 10, 11, 12. 12 में reject हो गया, तो then 4 पे आएंगे. Then 5. 6th में option मिलता है to reverse. Instead of 7th, we'll apply the 8th first. So 8th में we'll directly take the 110% of cost. Okay, so it's simple. If after applying all these rules also we could not find the value of the goods, for whatever reason, we didn't have information, we didn't have any identical similar goods, we didn't have the details of the cost price, the importer was not cooperating, then what do? Then comes to your most important rule called as your rule number 9. Rule number 9 is your residual rule. Residual rule. Residuary rule मतलब क्या? Best judgment assessment, that if the value could not be computed as per the rules prescribed, then the proper officer will fix a value to the goods according to what he feels, according to his best judgment, according to the principles and the rules of valuation rules, sections, etc. He himself will fix the value on basis of his best judgment. So this is like a best judgment assessment or a value where he fixes the value because nothing else is fitting in. So then we tell him कि आपको जो ठीक लगा आप value रख दो और वही rule हो जाएगा. I hope all these rules from 1 to 12 is clear. Okay. Here we are still going to talk about deducted value in detail when we do the rules. So now let's quickly get into the provisions. So now we'll go into the details of the rules, which are very self-explanatory. Rule number 1 is the short title. When I say short title, means it will tell you what is the name, what this rule should be called. So these rules may be called the custom valuation of determination of value of imported goods rules 2007, and it applies to imported goods. Rule number 2 talks about identical and similar goods. So rule 2 talks about what are identical and similar goods. Identical goods are goods which are same in all aspects. Physically they are same, quality they are same, reputation they are same, except for minor differences that do not affect the value of the goods. Okay, so if we take an example, if I have imported goods of iPhone 10 from my brother for rupees 500, obviously the officer will not trust it and he will say that what is the exact identical goods in the market. So it's iPhone 10 and we will see the price to unrelated person. What is the price to unrelated person is 80,000. So he'll fix the value as 80,000. Sometimes you might not have an exact identical goods, but you might find a product with minor differences. Okay, so that can still be considered to be identical goods. The proper officer will decide that it is extremely similar. Your mirrored images, it is produced in the same country and by the same person. Related persons, you can read it up what it means. Related could be if you're somewhere connected by commercially or by a business partner or an employee relationship, okay, or if you somewhere hold more than 5% of the stocks or the shares in the company, so we can be considered to be related person. If one person controls another entity, so they can be considered to be related persons. So this is given in your rule 2. Rule 3 talks about go as per the transaction value. It will be declared by the importer only. If at any time we feel that it has been incorrectly reported, then the officer has a right to reject it. Whenever the officer is accepting the rules, okay, he is accepting the value, so then he will move ahead with doing some adjustments and additions. That is given in your rule number 10.1 and 10.2. Okay, so what is your rule 10? Rule 10 talks about certain adjustments to be made in the value. Now adjustments, rule 10, now again you can note it down. Rule 10, it is in the adjustments in value. This is your rule 10 subrule 1 and 10 subrule 2. 10 subrule 1 are conditional or situation based adjustment. Situation based adjustment. Matlab only when certain things happen, only then you will do these adjustments. And rule 10 subrule 2 are compulsory adjustments. It is done in every single transaction. Compulsory adjustments done in every single transaction. Okay, so rule 10 is divided into rule subrule 1 and subrule 2. Subrule 2 talks about compulsory adjustments which will be used in every single transaction, and subrule 1 will be done only if certain conditions are there or in certain cases only. Okay, till here it is clear. When we do the sums, you will find this much more simpler, but this will be used in the sums as well. So firstly, what are they saying? That all these things should be, adjustments means all these things should be added into the value. It should be added in value of goods. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीजें if not added in the value, you will go and add it up. So in determination of the transaction value, if these things are not added, you will go ahead and add it into the value. So sometimes it is written that the invoice price might not consider these things. Invoice price might merely say 10,000 rupees, but one of these costings expenses are also done by the buyer. Buyer is also making payment on these things. So these will be added in value of goods if not added. अगर added है, सब included है तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है, but अगर included नहीं है तो आप करोगे include. Okay, in determination of the transaction value, there shall be added to the price actually paid or payable for the imported goods the following to the extent they are incurred by the buyer. So they should have been incurred or paid by the buyer and are not included in the price. ठीक है, कॉमन सेंस से हम लोग जब वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं तो वॉट एवर द बायर पेज to get the imported goods is to be added into the value. So if these things are incurred by the buyer but are not included in the price, common sense you will add it up. It would be added. First is commission and brokerage is paid, cost of containers, cost of packing, goods supplied from India, designing, art, engineering work, royalties and licenses paid, subsequent sale proceeds made by the buyer made to the seller or to a third party. So all these things are to be added, but buying commission, they have said except buying commission, the buying commission should not be added. समझते क्या सीन है ये? अभी लॉजिक देखना तुमको सब इजी लगेगा उसके बाद में. अगर मैं यहाँ पे इंपोर्टर हूँ, डू आई वॉन्ट द वैल्यू ऑफ द गुड्स टू बी वेरी हाई? थिंक एंड से. और यहाँ पे एक्सपोर्टर है. इफ आई एम द importer, do I want the value of the goods to be very high? Answer is no, because higher the value, higher duty I'll end up paying. So what does the exporter do? Exporter we try to remove certain things from the value. We say ye mat dalo, wo mat dalo, don't add this, don't add that. So if all these things are being done, but the buyer, importer is the buyer is paying it directly or indirectly, so it will be added into the value, because whenever any person sells, exporter is selling, it should include all cost plus profit. Selling price वही होता है sale price. So sale price पे import duty लगती है. Sale price will include all the cost and all the profit. So if the importer is paying, now logically you will understand this, if the importer is paying rupees 10,000 to the exporter in the invoice value, but is also paying to the exporter certain other sale proceeds, 2,000 rupees, as royalty fees or technical charges, or some commission to the agent, or some designing charges, or a subsequent sale proceed, separately जा ही रहा है ना, he is paying. So what should be the transaction value? Invoice price में सिर्फ 10,000 लिखा है, and this is not added into the value. So we will say, boss, we need to do some adjustments, and we will say 10,000 is there plus 2,000. Transaction value is 12,000 rupees. He'll say why? So I'm saying very simple. The buyer is making this payment also and is making this payment also. So all these charges which the importer is making, is paying, all of this should be added. Even if the importer has sent goods, in return he has sent some goods worth rupees 2,000. So obviously the exporter को तो benefits मिल ही रहा है ना, in the form of cash or in the form of money's worth. So any which way you are to get the goods, you give money or money's worth or some other technique indirectly. It is possible that maybe I pay the agent of the importer. I paid agent of the importer को पे कर देता हूँ मैं 3,000 सेपरेटली. सो 10,000 इनवॉइस है, 2,000 के ये सब डिजाइनिंग का कॉस्ट बढ़ा, और 3,000 रुपीज का एजेंट को भर दिया ऑफ द एक्सपोर्टर. शुड दैट ऑल्सो बी एडेड और नो? ऑब्वियसली एनी चार्जेस दैट द बायर इज पेइंग टू द एक्सपोर्टर should be added into the value, because he is paying. So all of these things, he is paying all these expenses, all of this will be added. Only exception क्या है? Is a buying commission. So buying commission will not be added in the value, will not added in value. Now buying commission होता क्या है? Buying commission मतलब क्या? ये मेरा एजेंट होता है, इंपोर्टर का एजेंट होता है, जो मुझे उस कंट्री के अंदर एक अच्छा सेलर ढूंढ के देता है. सो आई कुड हैव माई एजेंट अब्रॉड सिटिंग एंड ट्राइंग टू लोकेट मी गुड डीलर्स आउट देयर. सो शुड दैट बी एडेड इनटू द वैल्यू? आंसर, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हिम ना, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हिम और इज एजेंट. एक्सपोर्टर को थोड़ी मिल रहा है बेनिफिट, इट इज माई. सो बाइंग कमीशन इज अ कमीशन पेड by the buyer to his agent to help him in another country to locate good sellers, good exporters. ठीक है, तो लॉ ने स्पेसिफिकली बोला है कि इसको आप इंक्लूड मत करना इन द वैल्यू. एनीथिंग एल्स विच द इंपोर्टर इज पेइंग, विच अल्टीमेटली रीचेज द बेनिफिट टू द एक्सपोर्टर, all of that will be added into the value, because people try to then evade the duty by making all these different kinds of payment. I'll say pay to my party. A invoice may we'll keep only 10,000 and you pay 2,000 rupees to my party. So I'll assume that I've got 12,000. So law will say that once we have detected it, we've investigated and we came to know this is the transaction, we will add up everything that the importer has paid to make the import possible. Clear itna? So if I've given any packing material, any designing cost, any kind of pages that I've done, only what is not included except buying commission, because buying commission is not his agent, it is my agent. Okay. Now royalty charges also. So I'm telling I'll keep paying you royalty separately for giving me the goods. So any which way I'm trying to make a payment to him. So where royalty or license fee or any other payment is includable shall be added even if the goods are subjected to the said process after importation of the goods. So even after importation, if I keep paying him regularly, all of those also will keep on being added. And later in the investigation, if we came to know, so all that is a detection risk and all that is a matter of analysis for how much time are you getting the royalty. We'll keep adding it that this is the value of the goods, you try to evade the duty. Okay, so this is your rule 10.1. Rule 10.2 will come in the sums. 10.2 क्या बोलता है? By default. Now pay attention, okay? This is very, very, very important. Whenever you import the goods, so obviously from the other country when the goods are coming, there will be some expenses mandatorily levied on you. Mandatorily ये तो खर्चे होंगे. For example, your transportation cost. You must have caught it through some ship, cargo, etc., plane, land route. You must have paid some transportation cost. So it is possible that the goods are your. But to make the import possible, you must have paid transportation cost. You must have also insured the goods, because invariably, almost every time, you get a marine insurance done, you get an insurance of the goods in case it gets destroyed or something. So even insurance cost is to be added. Insurance cost is to be added. Okay. And that is it. Okay. Insurance cost of goods and cost of insurance. Now transportation cost के ऊपर नोट है. अभी देखो इसके ऊपर हमको एक नोट पढ़ना है. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट के ऊपर नोट्स होंगे और इंश्योरेंस कॉस्ट के ऊपर नोट होंगे. लैंडिंग चार्जेस जो था वो अभी रिमूव कर दिया है. सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट क्या होता है? सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज द फर्स्ट एडिशन, मीन्स फर्स्ट 10 सब रूल 2 के अंदर हम लोग जो कैलकुलेशन करेंगे. एंड देन सेकेंड वन इज योर कॉस्ट ऑफ इंश्योरेंस. लैंडिंग चार्जेस हैव बीन नाउ अबॉलिश्ड. तो ये पढ़ना नहीं है, सिर्फ 2 ही नोट्स हैं, इजीली हो जाएंगे. एंड दिस लैंडिंग चार्जेस वाज abolished in a case by Mr. in Wipro Limited. It was said that landing charges should not be added. Now you don't need to know. Coming directly to your transportation cost. Transportation cost, first one. Okay, so you can write it with me. So there are 2 notes under 10 sub rule 2. Invariably, whenever you import the goods, there would be a transportation cost. And second, invariably you would always get a insurance done. Insurance cost would be there on you in addition to the cost of the goods. तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट का क्या प्रोविजन है? तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट के अंदर सबसे पहले बोल रहा है दैट इट इंक्लूड्स, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इंक्लूड्स any name, so it might be called by different charges: freight cost, or your barge cost, your lighterage cost, okay, demurrage cost. All these words are there. It is to be included in the transportation cost only. क्या क्या दिया है यहाँ पे? So demurrage goods. So transportation cost is also called as your freight and includes demurrage, lighterage, barge charges also. फर्स्टली समझते कि ये भाई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट is also called as your freight, includes demurrage charges. Demurrage charges क्या होता है? If you have not removed the goods from the port beyond a certain time period, that is 3 days, then in the duty free period के beyond you just leave the goods and you've not cleared it from the port yet, then there will be some additional fine for extended stay of the goods on the port. That is called as your demurrage charges. So it is when you kept the goods beyond the duty period, it is called as your demurrage charges. Lighterage and barge charges are also there. Lighterage charges and barge charges. Lighterage is in case of any bad weather. They had to incur some cost of repairs on the in the waters. That will also be included because transportation करते करते कैसे गाड़ी खराब हो जाती है, you spend some expenses, so even those will be covered. And barge charges. Now what is barge? You must have seen that many times big boats are there, really big boats are there. They cannot come to the port because really big boats can't come to the shore. So what do? There are some smaller boats, you must have seen that the cargo is dropped onto these small boats, okay, and then this is taken to the port. It will drop it to the port and then again go and get the goods, then again it will come here and again it will drop it to the port. So this is called as a barge. Barge is a kind of a flat boat. You must have seen these flat boats are there, red color, here there is a red color boat and then there is a cargo kept on this. Okay, so this is a barge. So even those transportation of the goods from the smaller boats to the port and vice versa are all called as barge charges. It is a flat bottom boat mainly built for transport of heavy goods. So ये सब तुम्हारा transportation cost में add होगा. So when I say transportation cost, so it will include your demurrage charges, your barge charges, your lighterage charges. I hope this is clear by whatever name called. Now coming to your transportation cost के ऊपर दूसरा चीज. Now very important, supremely important, okay, is now you need to see whether you have imported the goods by air. Transportation cost में, if it is by air like flight or by other means, okay, you've got the goods through air or other means. If it is got through another way, maybe sea route or maybe land route, then whatever you will take the actual transportation cost. You will take the actual transportation cost to be the transportation cost. ठीक है, तो जितना भी तुमने एक्चुअली इनकर किया वही हम लोग ले लेंगे. ओके, if given then you will take actual, if not given you will take 20% of the FOB value. So if given, if it is by other means, so you will say if given, then yes, it's given, then you will take actual amount. And if they are silent in the question, they are silent, it is not given only what is the transportation cost, then you will take 20% of FOB value, free on board, freight on board, foot on board value, which we will see how to calculate the foot on board value. Yahan tak clear? So if the transportation cost is not, the transportation is not by air, okay, and it is given, transportation cost is given that itna kharcha hua, so you will take the actual amount. If it is not given, then you will take the 20% of the FOB value. If it is by air, then we will take the actual or FOB value, whichever is less. So since we know by air it will be very expensive, so then the government has kept a upper limit. It will be either actual or 20% of FOB value, whichever is lower. बिकॉज अगर एक्चुअल बहुत हाई है तो तुम्हारा ऑब्वियसली वैल्यू भी बढ़ जाएगी, तुम्हारी ड्यूटी भी बढ़ जाएगी, तो गवर्नमेंट ने लिमिट कर दिया है टू 20% ऑफ FOB वैल्यू. FOB वैल्यू क्या है वो कैलकुलेशन में हम लोग देखेंगे, बट आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. इंश्योरेंस में भी, इंश्योरेंस का क्या प्रोविजन दिया है वो लोग ने? Cost of insurance, if given you will take actual, if it is not given you will take 1.125% of the FOB value. So again, insurance if given, so let's say yes, then you will take the actual amount. But if they are silent, insurance cost कितना है तो हम लोग ले ही लेंगे कितना, 1.125% of FOB value. 1.125% ऑफ FOB वैल्यू. यहाँ तक क्लियर? तो ये स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. तुमको अभी नहीं समझ में भी आया तो भी ठीक है, कोई इशू नहीं है. व्हेन डू द सम्स, दैट टाइम इट विल बी वेरी वेरी सिंपल एंड रिलेटेबल फॉर यू. राइट नाउ इट इज अ थियोरी पार्ट, जस्ट कॉपी इट नॉर्मली, नॉट नेसेसरी यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस राइट नाउ. सो आई जस्ट रिपीट इट. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, it includes freight charges, bar charges, lighterage charges, demurrage charges, any of these names. It will include all of this. If it is by air, if you are importing the goods by air, then the transportation cost will be actual or FOB value, whichever is lower. And if it is by other means, that is by sea route, okay, waterways or land route, in such cases you will, if it is given, you will take it actual amount. If it is not given, you will take 20% of the FOB value. The insurance, if given, you will take the actual amount. If it is not given, you will take 1.125% of the FOB value. याद है क्लियर? अब एक चीज इंपॉर्टेंट याद रखना है कि in case of the goods are by sea, okay, the cost of freight incurred from the port to the inland container depot or to the customs freight station should not be included in the cost of transport. Mark this as important, that the cost of freight incurred from port to the container depot or the freight station should not be included in the cost of transport. So let's say for example this is the port, okay, so goods have been brought to the port. From the port, now this is India, right? India आ गया यहाँ पे पोर्ट. फिर यहाँ से जो भी खर्चे हुए ना, they are all considered to be as post importation expenses, post importation charges. यार एक बार इंडिया में आ गया, फिर इंडिया के अंदर पोर्ट से कहीं पे भी जाए ना, वो सब खर्चे नहीं होते. We just want the cost till this point, till the foot on board. मतलब यहाँ तक तुमने जो पैर रखा ना, till the port, only we want expenses till here. So we take the invoice value, we take the cost of transport, freight ले लेते हम लोग, plus insurance ले लेते हैं, till all of this cost till the port amount. From the port to anywhere, to the buyer's place, to anywhere, okay. Inland container depot is a place within India. Your Indian container depot to the customs freight station to the buyer's premise. You think this all should be added in the cost of imported goods? Answer is no. These will not be added. It's not to be added since it's post importation expenses. We want only the expenses till the port, till the goods are brought on the Indian port. From the port to anywhere is never to be added into the value. So the cost of transportation from port to anywhere is not to be taken into the value. Clear it now? So this is it. Now we will be starting with the sums based on this. So I would request you to write down all these provisions and then we will start with the sums.